There are three things certain in life: death, taxes, and job interviews. Okay, the last two are debatable, especially if you're a billionaire. However, for the rest of us plain mortals, we don't really have a choice. So I've put together 3 hacks to help boost your interview performance. Hack number 1. Make sure you leave a great last impression. Most people only think about the importance of a great first impression. However, your last and final impression is just as important. So how does one leave a great last impression? Well, it's simpler than you might think. At the end of the interview, when you're asked, "Do you have any questions?" make sure you ask an interesting one. Don't just say the usual, "What's the salary like?" or "How soon are you going to make a decision?" Instead, use this as an opportunity to show off. For example, I've noticed in the last 3 years you've opened up 4 new stores in London. It clearly shows that the company's on the up. What's the reason behind your success? Asking a more thought-through question is like the icing on the cake, and finishing on a high will leave a great last impression that will stay with the interview panel even after you've left the room. Hack number 2. Do the small talk. Remember, when someone interviews you, they're not only looking for someone who can do the job, but they're also looking for someone who they'll enjoy working with. The less likable you are, the less likely you are to get the job. Now, your biggest opportunity to build rapport is when the interview comes and meets you at reception. Now, your walk with the hiring manager to the interview room is your 1 minute of small talk time, so make the most of it, and it's important to make it count. Talk about the weather, maybe your journey to the office, or if you found out through your research that the hiring manager is a huge sports fan, talk about the game on the weekend and so on. Try to keep the conversation flowing, and by the time you get to the interview room and you've sat down, the hiring manager's already thinking, "I have a good feeling about this one." Hack number 3. Enjoy the awkward silence. Picture the moment. You're about to finish answering a question. However, instead of finishing, you start thinking, "Do they want more from me?" A moment of panic sets in, and then you continue your answer beyond its natural conclusion, turning your answer into a rather confused waffle. Your answer's gone from great to mediocre. So to avoid this from happening, conclude your answer at a place where you feel it's right. There might be an awkward moment of silence, which lasts a few seconds. However, in that moment feels like an age, but don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. In the majority of cases, the silence is there because the interview panel are being polite and want to give you the time and space to answer the question. So it's important not to panic and to keep your cool, because there's nothing worse than an answer which starts off great but ends up in a cul-de-sac. If you feel that they want more from you, then once you've finished your answer, ask them, "Would you like me to elaborate or to explain further?" If they say yes, then continue to elaborate on your answer. And there you have it, 3 hacks to boost your interview performance. And before I go, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.